Welcome to the Fantasy Football Garage. I'm Chris. My friends call me the Candyman, and you already know what time it is tonight. We're drafting best ball teams. We're gonna be doing some of the Albatross, the PGA Best Ball Majors only tournament on Underdog. We're also going to get into some of um, the dailies, the battle royales, these tournament long contests on Underdog they got this year. We're looking at the Waste Management Phoenix Open. God, it looks beautiful out there. I was out in the Phoenix area last month. I made it out to the West Valley, west part of town. I drove on the highway. I drove past the Cardinals football stadium, and then I went over to this West Valley part of town, right up against the mountains, and I got to have a nice little sit down meeting on the Wigwam golf course, and the conditions are just pristine out there. This is the perfect time to be playing golf out in Arizona in the Phoenix area. So it's going to be a beautiful weekend for some golf. I'm going to jump right into the par 3. Um it's the $3 version of the Underdog Open, and I've only done a couple of them so far, but it's about to close. So I'm jumping in right now to a par 3. Let me go ahead and add this to the stage. Boom. Okay. So this is the par 3, about just under 4,000 entrants, $1,000 up top, 10K in prizes, $3 entry, 20 max. I usually like to do about 3 or 4 of these a week and to kind of get a feel for the ADP. If you're new to the channel, if you're watching this in the future, make sure you're subscribed. I've got a goal to hit 1,000 subs before the start of the NFL season, and I feel like we can do it. So, but I need your help. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel and consider becoming a channel member. Come join the garage community, get in the inner circle, as we like to call it. You get the access to the emotes in the chat, but you also get access to all of my data and models, the analytics that I use not only for PGA best ball, but also for NFL best ball. So all of that and more. And the support for the channel is always appreciated. Never required for the premium membership. All I ask is you get in here, say what up in the chat, and have some fun. Bring some positive vibes, some positive energy, and help me get smarter. And I'll help you get smarter. We'll help each other. There's a lot of sharp people who hang out in this community, whether it's the NFL best ball or the PGA best ball. But we have one thing in common: we're all trying to get better. We're all trying to have a good time and talk some ball. So thanks for being here. Make sure you hit like on the stream as well. It helps me out. I am in the 3 spot right here. So this is a 6-person draft. And if you haven't heard yet, JJ Spawn withdrew. JJ Spawn no longer going to be competing at the Waste Management. So I've only drafted him one time. I think you can do a late swap in these tournaments if you do have him, but for your one and dones, all that good stuff, you're not going to want to choose him. I'm between my top 3 picks right now. I'm between Siwoo Kim, Ben Griffin, and Hideki Matsuyama. I think I'm going to go Siwoo Kim. He's just been on fire to start this season. I mean, he's had I think 3 straight top 12s, top 10s. I know he's had 2 straight top 10s the last couple of weeks, but Siwoo Kim's been on fire. Ben Griffin, of course, is just a stud, and then Hideki can compete with the best of them and has, if I'm not mistaken, Hideki's won this tournament. What year was that? Pretty recently. So how are we doing tonight? We got Bindles in the chat, my man. Good to see you. We got Jeff, who he want the question of the day: who finishes second in this tournament? Because Scotty's in the field, so we know Scotty's going to win. Who gets second? And I put it up in the chat question if you guys want to vote on the YouTube. So I put it between Ben, Creatine Machine, Griffin, and Siwoo shaking that ass Kim. But Jeff T wants to know who's the runner up, because we actually, it's going to be Peter Malnati that wins it this week. A great question. Good to see you as always, Jeff. Oh, I love Hovland here. Pearson Coody is a nice pick. I can't not go Hovland. Hovland's also just a stud, just a killer out here. I like Fitzpatrick as well. I could do Fitzpatrick or Coody with my next pick. Sahith is a pretty common pick. Jordan Spieth does well on this venue. Brooks Koepka has been like a betting favorite for a lot of people. I intended to start off with an Albatross, and we'll get right into Albatross. I've got like 3 or 4 slow Albatross that I can make some picks on. I'm gonna jump into a fast one, and then we can make the slow picks until that fills. I'll give you guys updates on the Albatross ADP changes week over week, the official World Golf ranking changes week over week, the implications for players qualifying for the majors. We'll look at some of my favorite picks in the Albatross, some of the players that are coming on strong this year and going to be qualifying and getting into these majors. Maybe they don't have a lot of course history, a lot of tournament history, but kind of these new names to know, guys that are good scroll down picks or late round picks for your Albatross drafts. So we're going to get right into the Albatross as soon as we finish this par 3 contest for the Phoenix Open. And then also, so we're gonna focus on Albatross early after we finish this draft. I just wanted to get one more in before it closed. And then we're going to come back and do a deep dive, talk one and dones, fantasy, all the betting odds, the DFS for the WM Phoenix Open. I guess I just go Sahith here. I think he's been playing fine as well too. Another guy who's like the 2 recent top 10s. I think each of his top 2 last finishes. So Sahith, let's double check that. So I know for who do I want to look up? So there we have Spawn out. I know for Siwoo's last finishes, yeah, all top 12. Like I said, Sony top T11, American Express T6, Farmers tied for second. So Siwoo's on fire right now. We got to get him in the lineups. Sahith has had a nice little start to the year for himself, and his last 2 at the American Express and the Farmers, he's finished in the top 10. Tied for 31st at the Sony, but not a problem. The guy is finding his form. We'd love to see it. Yeah, what's up, Hartman? Good to see you, brother. Let's see. Who do I like here? Oh, Corey Connors is an easy click for me. I like Higo. And you guys know I like Hisatsune. It's more of a scroll down pick. Joel Damon's kind of funny. I'll just let it hit on Connors for this first one, and I'm going to figure out how different I want to get if I'm going to be scrolling down a bunch. Akshay Bhatia's in the field. I like Akshay anywhere. Olesen has an interesting fit for this course. Brian Harmon's, can strike at any moment. Who else? Who else do we like to scroll down for? Griot had the ace last year here on the hole 16, the stadium par 3. Notorious. Beer flying everywhere. Electric. Do you guys see? And then 2 other things. One other thing for the Albatross, I posted here as a post on YouTube, and I posted it on Twitter as a conversation that I was having about late round picks that I'll get into. I like some of my favorite picks, but then also another thing I posted on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at FFB Garage. Another thing I posted on Twitter was Travis Kelce's there today. He was like playing in the amateur portion. The amateurs got a couple, I guess, some rounds in today, and boom. And I saw Brooks Koepka and Travis Kelce hanging out. And then on that par 3, that's hole number 16, Kelce, he's dialed in. He goes close. I mean, he hits it within 5 feet of the hole. Literally a professional shot, if you've ever seen one from a non-professional at that venue. So pretty impressive stuff. Do I think Travis Kelce retires? I don't think so, but he's been working on his golf game. It's showing. So that's a little concerning at the same time. But sometimes guys just have it. Sometimes guys are just, multi-sport athletes. So don't read too much into it. I'm scrolling way down. I don't love the super late names. I'm gonna go with like a Higo or a Harmon. I want to draft some Garrick Higo. He's a guy I've been pretty pumped. Had a nice, I guess you could say he had a nice end of the year, nice fall coming into this year. So that's the first squad for the WM Phoenix Open draft. Siwoo Kim, Victor Hovland, Sahith Theegala, Corey Connors, Akshay Bhatia, Garrick Higo. Anytime you don't have the 101, You don't have Scotty Scheffler, you're probably going to lose anyways if he's in the field. But I think I got some guys that I like here in the middle of this draft. I always like to see who other people are drafting in the last 2 rounds. So like Rasmus Højgaard's a common pick. McCarty's a very common pick. Kitayama does well here. Thorbjornsen, people like Bridgman has been playing decently well. Haotong Li is a fun pick. Berger, he's tied for second here last year. Andrew Novak's just decent player. Mitchell's decent player. So there's nothing crazy with the scroll downs, at least in this draft, but it is a big field. There's a lot of talent in this field. So good to see you, Hartman. Hope you're doing well, brother. Drafted 5 Spawn weekly teams already. LOL. But I guess you can just late swap, right? Is it like that? I don't know definitively. I can't remember from last year how it worked, but hopefully you can just late swap them out, or it goes to your ranking. So I drafted 1 Spawn team on a $3 par 3, and I'm intending to set rankings after the stream so that I can kind of hopefully get someone to replace him. Let's jump over here to the Albatross. I'm going to jump into a 30-second pick clock. I'll be waiting on 4. It can take a while. So let's jump back into my active slow drafts. I've got 3 going on right now. I'll just give you all a little taste of what's going on. And we can jump into the ADP changes and all of the results after last week's Farmers. Of course, Justin Rose is now elevated himself to number 3 in the world with his finish. You like to see that. And on this slow draft, it's a team I've got Xander, Henley, Colin. I've got Rosie on this one, Patrick Reed, one of my guys this year, Spieth, another one of my guys, Adam Scott, and Rasmus Højgaard. So it's pick in the 9th round, at the end of the 9th, and then the second pick in the 10th right after that. ADP has guys like Pendrith here. I don't love. Minwoo Lee I'm fine with, but my rankings, I really like Matt McCarty, Sam Stevens, Pearson Cootie. And these are guys that I'm ripping and taking in rounds 9, 10, 11. I feel like I should be able to get one of these 3 guys at 56 if I do take Minwoo Lee, who I like Minwoo Lee as well. You got ASAP in this draft, ASAP Tuna, shout out. And then my next pick's going to be 65. So I can probably get 2 of these guys. And I think I'm cool with that. I've got a bunch of them. I've got one of my most drafted players, Sam Stevens. Got a bunch of McCarty. I like McCarty. I'm wondering if I need to be taking McCarty over Minwoo Lee, but I'm going to go ahead and take Minwoo Lee here on this one. Let's give it a second. Let's see if the drafter in between my next pick is on auto. He's not, so we probably won't see that come back around. Or we will. Maybe he'll make those picks. He gets the alert. Here, I have a team out of the 6th spot. It's a Bryson, Bobby Mack, Colin, Rose, Reed, McNeely, Harmon, Noren. So more of my favorite guys: Morikawa, Rose, Reed. If you tell me that your base of your Albatross teams this year is some variation on Morikawa, Rose, and Reed in rounds 3, 4, 5, I don't see why that's a problem at all. I think that's a really strong way to build teams. And like I said, my same favorite guys like McCarty in my ranks, Bridgman, Stevens, Cootie. ADP would have me take probably Bridgman or Berger Homa. I think the Gala is interesting. If he continues to ball out and play well to start the season like he has, he's going to earn his way into some of these majors. I don't think he has a path to getting into the Masters. Well, technically he could. He would need to win a tournament or be top 50 in the world ranking. He's currently 93rd, and he's rising pretty quickly in his world ranking. But he's not qualified for the Masters. He should be on track to qualify for the PGA. He's not currently qualified for the US Open. He should be on track to qualify for the Open. So I need to see more out of the Gala before I start drafting him more and more. I think he is still cheap that you can be drafting him, but it's just risky given he might not be in half the majors. And not in the Masters hurts a lot. And catch back up. Man, Spawn looking like a 1-year wonder is tough, but what a year it was. just here so I don't get fined. Too good. Ludwig Oberg's a bad pick. I've got some Ludwig. I'm not overexposed to him, but he's very expensive. I'd rather have a guy like McIntyre, and then even guys like Colin are going to have much more tournament history. So I think, yeah, Jeff is right here. Ludwig is a tough sell. He's a tough pick. We know what the potential's like with Ludwig, but it's very expensive. Taking him over Hovland, taking him over Matt Fitzpatrick, it's kind of hard. And I've done it because I want to take some exposure to all of the guys, and he's there at ADP. But even Matsuyama, Ben Griffin, a lot of these guys who go in the third round, you could argue are actually have better shot than Oberg. His redeeming quality and probably why he's going so high is everyone likes him, and young up and comer, but he does perform well at Augusta. He's at 2 top 10s at Augusta. So for Ludwig here, he finished 7th last year and 2nd the year before. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit, and like knowing that I've got all the data here, but I'm gonna zoom in so we can really focus in here so you guys can see what this is showing us. I have the last 4 weeks of ADPs. Make sure, yeah, my Albatross is 3 out of 6 filled. So the fast Albatross, don't worry about it. We're good. This is Ludwig started off at draft pick 5. The first week, he moved to 6, then 7, now 7.5. So the blue indicates he's fallen 3 straight weeks in a row, his ADP. Guys who are green have already won a major before. So he's like Tommy Fleetwood. I think he's overvalued. He's not won a major. He's good, but I'd rather have like Xander and John Rahm over Fleetwood 9.9 out of 10 times. Oberg, very expensive. Give me Henley, give me McIntyre, give me Matsuyama, Hovland, maybe even Cameron Young, right? Ben Griffin, maybe. So, and then this is highlighting guys who are in the orange get highlighted when they've risen in ADP each of the last 3 weeks. Cameron Young's up 12%. He went from pick 16, 15, 13. Now he's at 12. Then I've got the Data Golf ranking. It's going left to right. So in Data Golf, the last 3 weeks, they update every Monday. We see a guy like Cameron Young. He's about the 12th or 11th best player by Data Golf points, which is pretty much following strokes gained. We've got the OWGR, which follows their tournament results and their ranking in the official World Golf ranking. This also is important to keep tabs on because this is how you qualify for these majors if you haven't already. It's one of the ways. One of the paths in is to qualify using your OWGR. Top 50 get into Augusta. I think for PGA, it's like 70. US Open, maybe it's 60 or 70. I forget exactly, but it's in that range. And same thing for the Open. I'm highlighting green if they're rising. And so we can see as we scroll down, there's a lot of players who've been rising a bunch. I've also got how many majors they're already qualified for. 3.1 adds up to 4, right? That's Hideki. He's guaranteed to be in 3. He's guaranteed to be in the Masters, the US Open, and the Open. He's currently qualified for the PGA Championship. So that's the 0.1. So that's how I have that dynamic kind of update on the number of majors they're qualified for, and then if they want to match, if they've won a major before, that's what it says here. We've also got their last 5 years finishes. So the last 5 years at Augusta, Hideki goes, 21, 38, 16, 14. He won it in 2021. So I've got all of that for all of the majors and things I'm keeping tabs of. If you are a premium member on the channel here in the Fantasy Football Garage, you can request access. I will share my databases with you. I'll share my analysis with you. All you have to do is DM me on Twitter. Give me your preferred email. I'll share the sheet with you. And then you can save a copy to your local Google Drive, and you can manipulate it any way you want, add to it, look at it, all that good stuff. Or if you don't have Twitter, don't have x.com, shoot me an email. It's fantasyfootballgarage@gmail.com. Or you can reach out to me in any other way. You can get my attention and get me privately your email, and then I'll give you access. If you are a premium YouTube member, the monthly membership gets you access to all of my data models, all of my spreadsheets that I hand build. This one's for the Albatross. I had one for the Scramble. I've also got one tracking the big board, and I've also got one that is the big board one is kind of live right now for my NFL drafts. And then I've got a year over year model that I built out, my garage tiers that has a bunch of my data sets that I've started to pull into the big board stuff. So it's all coming along. But if you want access to that, if you want to get in on this, uh, I'm giving that out to. It's one of the perks for my channel members is a thank you for supporting the channel. I figure, I to building something like this, it's a labor of love, but I'm putting in dozens of hours, and I do it as my research to prep for the Albatross. So I was going to do it anyways, but I'm happy to share it with the most loyal members in the garage community. And yeah, and so that's that. And let's see, let's make some picks here. I think so. Here's what we can also do. We can look up between our picks that we're going to make. We can try to figure out what makes the most sense. I'm going to zoom back out a little bit so we can see all of the data, and I'll try to describe it. I know it gets small. It's kind of an eye test out there, but also it'll help us see more golfers at once. And then over here is a really interesting column where I'm counting the number of top 25s, top 10s, top 5s that they've had in the last 20 majors. And then also for the Open, week 17 is all that matters. For the Open, you're going to want to focus on guys who play well, across the pond, guys who are good at links golf if they're playing in one of those venues, which they typically are, but just guys who typically do well at the Open. Heavy emphasis on those guys. Yeah, and then Jeff, Neiman is still unquestionably the worst pick. Yeah, Neiman right now, he's been falling, and I'll find him because he stands out usually. Neiman started at 22, now he goes at 38, and he's only qualified for one major. He's only qualified for the PGA right now, so that's why he's a bad pick. But there's a chance. Like last year, he was also in a similar situation where he became the best golfer on the LIV Tour. They got exempt to all of the majors. He didn't perform well at the majors. He got 29th at the Masters. I mean, not too bad. Actually, 8th at the PGA is nice. So that's why he got invited back this year already. He got cut at the Open and cut at the US Open and cut at the Open. So that's kind of the recency bias. Those 2 weeks count the most. Obviously, you got to get there. So you want guys who are in the Masters, but you're competing in the semifinals with a lot of teams who have made it there, a lot of well-built teams. So the US Open is clutch time. And then all the money, all that matters is week 17 at the Open. So Neiman not being in those events currently, he could still qualify in. Kind of a caveat. He's not a great pick right now. Yo, what's up, Jamie? How we doing, brother? Good to see you. So Stevens only qualified for the Masters, except, and we'll go down to Stevens. Sam Stevens, he's risen in ADP every week since the tournament opened, but he hasn't risen enough. So Stevens is he's 40th in the world right now. So because he's 40th in the world, he is qualified. He's in the Masters, but he's on track to be at the PGA, at the US Open, and at the Open. He doesn't have a lot of tournament history. He's played the US Open 3 times. His best finish was last year, top 25, which is decent. The PGA, he's got 2 years of experience there. Nothing great, but Sam Stevens is playing well. He's top 40 in the world right now, and so he is currently on track to be qualified for all of the majors, and that's why I'm clicking a lot of Sam Stevens. Same thing with a guy like Matt McCarty. So Matt McCarty is on track to be qualified for all of the majors. He's only in the Masters currently, but because he's number 36 in the world, and so he's going to be getting into all the other majors as well. And when you're at this part in the draft, like you're picking between guys who are in like guaranteed, like maybe 2 majors. At best, they're guaranteed to be, like 2, maybe 3. Here's Bridgman. Bridgman's guaranteed to be in 3, but he should also be in the PGA. So, yeah, that's how it looks. So I think I am just going to go. I've got some recency bias. I've got a lot of Stevens. I want to get some more Cootie because he's been playing well and rising a bunch. Also, I like Matt McCarty. And notice that I unselected him there. Jeff says he is a top 200 millionth in OWGR. It's very respectable. He might be on track. I think if anything, Jeff would be qualifying for the Waste Management this weekend. I feel like you should be there, Jeff. Yo, what's up, Emo? Good to see you, brother. Golf. Talking some Jared Goff. We got Yeah, what's up, Dad? Arby's our king. Good to see you, my friend. Thanks for being here. How do I feel about Cam Smith past ADP as a pick? Jamie, I like Cam Smith. I'm taking a good amount of Cam Smith. He's he's going pretty late. He's in all four majors guaranteed. He's a major winner. So let's scroll down. I think Cam Smith goes too late. He's been falling this entire time. Started pick 27, 34, 35, 39, 40. People just don't like the live golfers. I know he's not highly ranked in his OWGR, but he's going to be in all four majors. He does exceedingly well at Augusta. He got cut last year, but sixth before that. He's got a third and a 10th in the last 5 years. He's got a top 10 at the PGA in the last 5 years and a 13. He's got a top 4 at the US Open only 3 years ago. He won, the Open back in 2022 when it was hosted at St. Andrews. So Cam Smith, he's a guy. And he's going in a range. I think Brian Harmon and Cam Smith are my favorite picks at ADP around there. Once Patrick Reed is gone, Jason Day, Patrick Reed, I want Brian Harmon or Cam Smith. I know Cam Smith's not been playing great lately, but he's got it. Also, Ryan Gerard is a nice pick in that range. Just a guy who's been on fire. Not a lot of tournament history, except having a top 10 at the PGA last year was pretty sweet, but yeah, so we're 4 out of 6 right now to fill a 30-second Albatross draft. If you want to jump in and get in that draft with me, I'm hitting up my slow drafts in the meantime. Still have to answer. Do I want McCarty, Cootie, or Stevens? I have the most Stevens, so I'm going to push him. It's either Cootie or McCarty. I'm going to pick here at my 10th round pick. Former golf pro, avid fisherman. Yeah, Cam Smith's been fishing it up in Florida. Jamie, I like Cam Smith. I've been taking him this whole entire draft. I mean, he's guaranteed to be in all four majors. And at that price, it's like you're not paying a whole lot. So around pick 30 plus, I've been taking him. I've been taking a lot of Cam Smith. Yeah. Okay. So Jeff's kind of saying, yeah, well, last year he missed the cut at all four majors. True. That sucks. But the guys who are most likely to win a major have already won a major. And he's already won a major. So he's got a lot of top 10s, some top 5s. He's won the Open. Last year we had 3 repeat winners. Scotty won twice and Rory won, and we had one new first-time winner, Spawn. So, and then think about the year before. We had a first-time winner in Xander, who also became a repeat winner. We had Scheffler, who was a repeat winner, and we had DeChambeau, who's a repeat winner. That's just one little fun fact, little tidbit. The guys who are most likely to win the majors already have won a major. It's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy, but anytime I can get a guy who's won a major, and I'm not talking about like Phil Mickelson, he's way past his prime. Cam Smith, he's not playing his best golf right now, but he's got plenty of years left. I'm not drafting any Phil Mickelson. Okay, so do I want McCarty? Let's go back to the question on McCarty or Cootie. I got to find him first off. Okay, here's Matt McCarty, been a big riser. Pearson Cootie, a big riser, and they haven't risen enough. You highlight both these guys. They don't have a ton of tournament history. Cootie's top 50 in the world. McCarty's top 36. Cootie gets into the Masters with his current OWGR. So that's in favor for McCarty, who's going to be in regardless. They both don't have a lot of majors history. The way Cootie's playing right now, though, he is just, man, he's having a great year. Flying up the boards at the, played well in the fall. The Sony T13, T18 at the MX, and then tied for second at the Farmers. So pretty impressive stuff. I like what we're seeing there. For McCarty, though, also equally impressive to some extent. So McCarty's 7th in the FedEx Cup standings. Cootie's 6th. McCarty goes not great at Sony, but it's not everyone plays great in Hawaii. So T55, but then he goes tied for second at the Amex and tied for 18th at the Farmers. I misspoke. Okay, so McCarty is also on track to qualify for the Masters because of his OWGR, but he's a little bit safer to get there. I don't know. You could argue both ways of it. I'm gonna go McCarty based on the ADP, but I want some Cootie, and then I like Sam Stevens too. Hao Tong Lee's another pick that I really like to make. Yeah, it's sometimes easier to rise in the OWGR with a really good result. Guys rise faster than they fall typically. If you're getting cut a bunch, you can fall pretty quickly. Like, but if you can also maintain OWGR. I feel like you shoot up pretty quickly with good results in good strong fields. That's definitely true. Yeah, we're big fans of Cuda. Shout out to my Longhorns. We're a golf school. We're a football school. We're a baseball school. Sometimes, rarely, a basketball school. Definitely a golf school. I mean, think about the top Longhorn golfers right now. Got Scotty Scheffler. You can end the list there, but there's Pearson Coody, another Longhorn out there getting it done. All right, let's jump. So we're 4 out of 6 filled for the fast Albatross. Let's get back into one of my slow drafts here. Looks like the other one came back around too. You can see how I'm labeling these. I label a lot of them with the initials of the players who I've drafted, as long as I'm remembering to do that, just to help me see. Then when I'm sweating it out later, if I got a XSVH start, it's pretty obvious that's Xander Schauffele, Victor Hovland start. So that's kind of how I label my teams. Yeah, Nick Dunlap was on fire, right? When he won at the American Express a couple years ago. Yeah, the fall was not fast enough. Man, Dunlap has the yips off the tee. We got to get his driver figured out, and then I think he's got a long way to go in his career, but he's got to get that figured out. And everyone likes Nick Dunlap. No one doesn't like him, but he's had a tough stretch. So here I do just take Sam Stevens in the 11th round. I'll take him over Homa, over Kim, pretty much all these guys. I might switch. I mean, Wrighton is interesting. I have so much Sam Stevens. I might want to get some Wrighton. Trey Shapier's interesting. Jaden Trey Shaper. Michael Brennan. Don't love that he's getting disqualified from the Farmers, but he should be in all the majors. I've slowed down on Davis Riley. He's kind of falling a little bit. We'll see if yeah, so Heath is definitely gone at this point. Right. So it's either Sam Stevens or Wrighton. I want to look at Wrighton's course or tournament history. So let's go find him. He's got a little bit, not a ton. Just a little bit. He 30th at the Open last year. So he's in the Masters. He's in the Open. He's currently qualified for the two in the middle. He's 38th in the world. That's something. Ram Sleazy drafted Hao Tong Lee in the 10th round. That's a great pick. I can probably get Wrighton in the 12th round. And I want to mix up my last picks. So I'm pretty much cool with whoever I get. I do feel like Sam Stevens is a good pick. So I'm going to have a lot of Sam Stevens. You can see I took Cootie before Sam Stevens in this draft on a previous slow draft pick. So I'll reach up for Cootie. I'm trying to get some more exposure to him in case his ascent just continues. If he wins one of these tournaments, he's going to fly up in ADP. So getting him late, I'm cool with that. Is this the one we drafted on earlier? I think it is. Yeah, this is the one earlier where we took Minwoo Lee, Pendrith, and Rasmus Niergaard Peterson. He's a fine pick. He's qualified for a bunch. They go, and so, do I want to go McCarty or Cootie? We got ASAP in the room. I don't know if Cootie's gonna make it back around. I'm gonna do a quick check on my exposures here and see how much McCarty I have. If I feel like I'm overexposed, I might just go Cootie. I know I'm overexposed to Sam Stevens. I need to chill on that, but he's a great pick. I can't stop doing it. It just makes a lot of sense late. For my exposures, yeah, I need to back off on the Sam Stevens a little bit. Same thing with McCarty. I've got a bunch. So I'm gonna take Cootie here to help out with the exposures, and then whoever makes it back around, I'll get the other guy. So that's one thing I'm doing. But McCarty, Stevens, and How Tong Lee, I've been taking them on most of my, like, a ton of my teams. So just a little bit of risk being overexposed to any given player, injury risk or whatever. Maybe they don't get into and maintain qualification for all these things that we think they should. So I'm here in the Albatross. I'm waiting on 2 for it to fill. Kind of surprised it's taking this long for it to fill. Yeah, Zalatoris is not currently qualified, right? That's tough. Same thing with Tom Kim, not currently qualified. They both get taken often, so there's some name brand equity there. There's guys who have been really good in the past, but yeah, not currently qualified. Is Brennan just Nick Dunlap 2.0? Well, Brennan's got a long way to go to be Dunlap. I mean, Dunlap was the first person to win twice on tour their rookie season. I think wasn't it Phil Mickelson was like the last person to do that. So it had I'm almost certain everyone was talking about that. It was two seasons ago. Yeah, the Albatross guys love their slows. You can fill a slow Albatross easily, but right now, this time of year, the fast Albatross doesn't feel super quick. I can switch back over, and I will. We can get into some prep for the Phoenix, the WM Phoenix Open, so we can look at some data in here before we jump back to that Albatross. I'll keep an eye on the Albatross on my phone here, and we'll jump back if it fills. Yeah, I've got it open on my phone too. So Jeff, I see it's 4 out of 6, so it's just not really filling yet. But what we'll do is we can go over to boom, and then let me just do it. Let me go ahead and do this. Uh, is that better? This is fine. Let me zoom in a little bit, I guess. I don't even know if that resized very well, but this is rickrungood.com. It's his premium tier to access to his data for all of his tools. This is one that I like. This is the tournament predictor. He simulates the tournament 10,000 times with the field of golfers. Obviously, you have to take spawn out, but we have a reference to their recent rounds played is a sample size. This is their salary for this event for DFS. We can rank by salary. DVIG is my understanding about it's a combination of their ability to win and the value you can get on picking them in like DFS. So that's the difference here, right? We have win percentage over here in the simulations. Scotty Scheffler's going to win this tournament almost a third of the time. Makes the cut 92% of the time. Didn't get any higher than that. His value is the DVIG, the win percentage minus the DVIG. So just how common he's going to be, I guess, which gets us to value. We have top make cut, top 20%, top 10%, top 5%. This is all the simulation result. So the references and then the simulation result. So this just helps us know who's a good pick in the simulation, who's playing good golf right now, their latest rounds. There's some obvious ones, right? If you get the 101, you take Scotty. I think Xander obviously is another good pick. Hideki shows up very highly here. If we go up, we can also sort by win percentage. I think that matters a ton too. It's a little different. Corey Connors has a nice chance to win this thing. So I've been drafting a bunch of Corey Connors. You'll see me get him. He's pretty cheap in these underdog drafts. He goes in like the mid late rounds. Hideki McNeely's very popular. I think he's going in the first round. Colin, Sam Burns. I'm not going to be drafting a whole lot of Sam Burns, but I can see why he's there. Victor Hovland, Cam Young, Nico Echeverria is a guy I'm drafting. He goes pretty late in these underdog drafts. Siwoo Kim's a great fit. He's on fire. Harris English is a good golfer. Sepp, a good golfer. Fitzpatrick. Daniel Berger did well here last year, so there's some course history. Grayserman kind of pops for me. I think he's interesting. 55% chance he makes the cut, so not incredible there, but a decent odd that he could actually win this thing compared to the other guys around him. One that pops for me, Ben Griffin and Goddard are obviously good. Fowler's kind of nice. Garrick Higo seems to pop nicely. Almost as good of odds as like Fowler, or even just below Goddard, Ben Griffin tier. Spieth, I would have thought Spieth to be a little bit higher, but very likely to make the cut. Not as likely to win for whatever reason. Guys, let's sort by like making the cut, because another thing is important about these underdog drafts is literally just making the cut and getting more points on the weekend. Never heard of Scotty Scheffler. Yeah, I'll keep referencing this Scotty guy, and we'll figure him out. Hey, yo, what up, Nez? Nez wants to know, are we jamming Harris English in this tournament just like he is? You know, I honestly, I'm thinking like Harris English, he's popping here, looking pretty nice, really good chance to make the cut, decent chance to win this thing. I haven't done enough volume yet to have been jamming Harris English. I'm open to it though. Let's go look. Let's look at one of the other tools here. Let's go to I think I just hit the menu. Let's go to the course key stats. Boom. Let's pull this bad boy up, get all this data in here. They're putting on Bermuda grass, 6 holes with water in play, so not a big factor. One thing we learned, and we can go back and look at Greg Ducharme's weekly thread. You don't want to miss left. You don't want to miss left here, so you want to have some accuracy off the tee. And then Jeff, to answer your question, so Scotty Scheffler, he's an up-and-comer. Not a lot of people know him, but the reason he's famous is because he actually has won back-to-back at the Waste Management Phoenix Open in 2022 and 2023. So that's where you probably have heard the name Scotty Scheffler from before. How can we rank these? What's important at the Waste Management? Putts made per event over, I want to say, what is this, 10 feet? Over 10 feet. So if you can putt well from 10 feet out, strokes gained, tee to green, obviously strokes gained total. Get out of that. What else? Those are big ones. Kind of the standard stuff. Here's the 18 holes here. If you miss left, there's some big penalty on number 3, number 10, 17, and 18. Interesting that hole 16 is not on here. I wonder why that is. Pretty sure it's just a data golf thing. Yeah. So let's keep scrolling down. We got the approach. And let's go strokes gained approach within 100 yards. I feel like I'm getting small sample sizes here. Let's do adjusted. I'm looking for our guy English, not popping yet. Putting. Here's all the great putters. Sam Burns, Al Tongley, Harry Hall. Scheffler's become one of the great putters over the years. He turned his weakness into one of his strengths. Course fit, just a total course fit. Who do we like? Brennan's always popping. He's showing up in these models. And so is Emilio Gonzalez. But that's more of a because a lot of their data is coming from the Corn Ferry Tour last season. Hovland, Cootie, Schauffele, Morikawa, I believe that. Koepka, I believe that. For some reason, Harris English, he's not a bad fit. I mean, he's positive in off the tee. His approach is pretty neutral, positive in putting. I think Harris English is a decent fit. I liked how Grazerman was a fit and Bhatia too, and Fitzpatrick. He's right in the range with these guys. Interesting stuff. Let's pop back over to the tournament predictor. So English year for DFS, he's like, 8,600. Definitely a good chance to make the cut. About a 20% chance to get to top 10. That's decent odds. He's one of the top guys for making a top 10. And he's pretty decent odds to win it too. Not bad. We're 4 out of 6 filled for the Albatross. Still trying to fill a fast Albatross. Dietrich. He's actually in first this week. That's so funny. Yeah, Dietrich's not playing at the Waste Management. He won it last year. He's not playing this year because of moving over to Live. Hey, appreciate you, Huhams. Good to see you, brother. Hope you had a great stream earlier today. I have to play a little bit of catch up. A lot of streams I got to catch up on from today. Ended up being busy, and then swim practice with the kiddo and all this good stuff going on. But I got to catch up. And an insane amount of news today in the NBA world. I know, Nez, your head must just be spinning. I keep seeing your tweets popping out. Man, everyone's changing teams. Typical. I mean, not very typical NBA trade deadline, but relative to any other sport, like always the most activity. But this is like the most activity we've had in the NBA trade deadline in a while. Hey, good to see you, Meg. Appreciate you being here. Yes, cramming for lock. Okay, well, let's get some volume in. So we're 5 out of 6 filled for an Albatross, but we can always, we can multi-table. We can handle it. Let's jump into the Underdog Open. See how close this thing is to filling. Classic location error, which is funny because we've already entered in other drafts. There we go. So this one's filled. Let's go. Nez is in the Albie, but he's punting. Okay, yeah, that's what he says. That's what Nez says. If you didn't catch the stream last week, Nez came on and joined, and we drafted Albatross. We talked some of the farmers. We didn't take home anything big for the farmers, but we've got our Albatross team that will live on. But don't let Nez sandbag you. Don't let him fool you. He finished, was it top 20 in the scramble last season for the season-long PGA golf. So this guy knows some ball. Don't let him fool you. Yeah, it has been crazy. It's insane. Every time I look at my phone, there's a new trade, new something going on, NBA trade. It's like, wow. I don't know what's in the water, what's going on, but just a lot. Yeah, Jeff, I got to change my location. My VPN must be down. They don't know that I'm actually I can't even think of a good place to be. Where'd be the optimal place to be in the world and then use a VPN to draft on Underdog? Like, I don't know, somewhere on a beach or something, but all the places I can think of probably do have legal Underdog drafting, so I don't know where I would want to be. Do they have it in Australia? Does Australia count? VPN back to the States. Yo. What up, Travioli? What up, coolers? How we doing, guys? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. GM. Yeah, Hawaii. Does Hawaii... I've never been... Well, I haven't been technically to Hawaii. I'm going to go Siwoo. I mean, I love this spot in the draft. I've been Siwoo, Ben Griffin, or Hideki. Pop over to the tournament predictor. Who's going to win first? Besides Connors, it's Hideki. I don't know. Or is it Ben Griffin? Ben Griffin was a little bit further down than I expected. Same thing with Siwoo. Let's get Hideki first. Just change it up since we went with Siwoo in the last one. Get some Decky. Can you draft Underdog in Hawaii, or is it illegal in Hawaii? I have no idea. Funny. Oh, so Nez is right after. I just realized Nez is right there in this draft. Of course he is, but I was like, dang, these guys took Siwoo and Ben Griffin. Nice picks. But they kind of go at ADP anyways. It's not that crazy. I mean, people talking up McNeely, I'll listen. I like Hovland better. I like Fitzpatrick better, but McNeely is one of the top guys here too. Let's go him. Morikawa already went. No, Morikawa's still available. Hush hush on Morikawa. Might be a good pick there. Goddard goes. People just chasing the steam with Goddard. I mean, Goddard's a stud. Yeah, Hovland. Hovland's a very nice pick. Oh, shake my head. So if you're on a beach in Hawaii, you cannot draft Underdog. Good to know. I don't have any plans to go to Hawaii anytime soon. The next beach I'm going to be on next month, I'm going to be in Florida, and I'll be in the shark tooth capital of the world, Venice Beach, Florida, just south of Tampa, which is the cigar capital of the world. And Florida itself is like the alligator capital of the world. So there's just a lot going on in that state. But we'll be on the beach, and I have done a considerable amount of drafting Underdog teams from Florida beaches in the past. This year will be no different. So I'll get some volume in there. The great state of Florida. Vacation is such a nice time to wake up early and go for a nice long walk on, where you're at, do some cardio drafting, get some volume in, drink a little latte or some coffee and enjoy a nice view. Vacation drafts are very nice. And if you're somewhere where you can't draft on vacation, just load up on some slows right before you go, and then you get some nice slow picks to make. That's how I like to do it. Yeah, what's up, RK Seal? How we doing, brother? Hey, thanks for checking in. Good to see you. Yeah, appreciate you. Let me know if you have any questions about the slate. What we're getting into: Colin Morikawa, Alexa Heath. I like Jordan. English. Should we snipe Nez right here? Should we take the English? No, I'm gonna go Morikawa. Morikawa's not been playing that well, right? What do we have besides his finish at the Sony? We have nothing. So just the Sony, right? I was like, where else has he played? He got cut at the Sony. Nez slamming the Harris English. I'm never gonna know if I'm gonna be jamming in Harris English because Nez is just gonna be taking them all. Yeah, so Heath here feels good to me. Obviously, McCarty, Connors. Oh, geez. I might have to do Connors. Well, this is the fourth round. I can get Connors in the fifth potentially. Let's do Sahith. I don't think I've gotten Sahith yet. He's playing nice lately. First four rounds, I go Matsuyama, McNeely, Morikawa, and then combo breaker on guys whose last name starts with M. I go Thigala. Could have gone McCarty just to keep it rolling. Kitayama at 19. Did Kitayama won this event in the past, right? I think he did. Oh, no, I'm mistaken. No, he has. I guess I always think back to, I don't know what it is, the 3M. Just I know he won the Arnold Palmer a couple years ago. Maybe that's what I was thinking of. Arnold Palmer Invitational. Oh, sorry, Coolers, missed your question. Good to see you. Just got here, so apologies if you covered this, but curious how you're playing the weather this week, if you're adjusting for it at all, because it's the dome golf conditions. They have extremely nice conditions in Phoenix this weekend. Coolers, I was in Phoenix like 3 weeks ago. I was just there, and I had a meeting on a golf course there in the West Valley. So conditions were nice. I had a lunch meeting on a private golf course out there, and man, I if I lived in Phoenix area, I would be golfing every day. It'd be impossible to get any work done. Corey Connors seems like a great value in this draft. I guess, Nez, to answer your question, I'm getting a bag of Corey Connors. He's super cheap. I think he's a good fit here. He's a good player. But yeah, the conditions right now in Phoenix, it is warm and sunny and real nice. As far as I've heard, I haven't heard anything about like bad weather. I haven't heard about like rain or anything. I'd be very surprised. It seems like it never rains there. The perfect place to be this time of year. It felt like a spring day, and it was the end of January. Yeah, finding out you made the Albatross finals only to be banned by Underdog because you're actually drafting from parts unknown. I'm kind of just scrolling here. I might go Grazerman. I'm gonna go Grazerman. I think he's a fine pick. And perfect timing too, because the Albatross just filled. So we go Hideki, Mav McNeely, Colin Morikawa, Sahith, Corey Connors, Max, Grazerman. See what Nez did. Nez went Siwoo, Goddard, Harris, English, Spieth, Poston, Higo. Interesting. Poston. Okay. Okay. Postman. Not bad. Pop over to the fast Albatross that is loading. We got Hartman in the 2 spot. Shout out. Nez in the 5, me in the 6. Okay. I have to keep my answers, my paper close, my answers to myself. Yeah, vacation drafting is so fun. Man, why I gotta hate on Colin Morikawa? The dude's good. He's got to figure it out, though. He's got to figure it out. So this is an Albatross. Let's shift gears. We're drafting for majors only, 12 rounds. I'm ready. Got my rankings in here. We got the ADP. So far, pretty standard stuff. Coolers is saying, like, will there be wind or not tomorrow in Phoenix? I don't know. It was pretty. Yeah, I think things it can change, but I'm not sure. I have to catch up on the whole wind discussion. From what I would expect, it's going to be still and nice. Nez goes DeChambeau. That makes sense. I'm going to go Xander. My third ranked player, getting him at the 6th spot. And then I either go Henley or Hovland here or McIntyre. I'm going to check my exposures quickly and see who I need more of if I can manage to do it in this amount of time. TikTok. Henley, I could use some more. Hovland, I'm good. McIntyre, I could use some more. I'm going to go McIntyre. I'm going to change it up. All 3 of these guys, I like them a lot. And I, none of them are going to come back to me at 18 at this point in the draft right now. So I'm just going to spread the exposure out a little bit more evenly. I could have done Henley there. I take McIntyre. For some reason, I'm a little bit underexposed to McIntyre. So I got to correct that. Anytime you're not getting Scotty Scheffler in this tournament, you need to get everything else right. And I want to have different combinations of different players in the 1st and 2nd round because of that. So I don't just want to have 50 Xander Henley teams. That's not going to help me because most likely you're just going to have Scotty Scheffler. But in the case you don't have to have Scotty and someone else can get it done and win it all with a non-Scotty team, I'm going to want some options because there's a lot of different combinations off of Scotty. And then for my Scotty teams, I do the same thing. I'm like, okay, do I have Scotty with Ben Griffin? Do I have Scotty with, who? Matt Fitzpatrick is one of my favorite guys to take with Scotty, I think. Hovland would be a great pick. Hovland goes there in the third round to Hartman. Very nice. Spawn, I'm not taking as much of right now. I like Spawn just fine, but is he a one-hit wonder? What's going on there? This is an interesting spot. ADP has Koepka, Cantlay, Rosie. I think for me, I have my ranks in here, and I have not updated my ranks in the last probably haven't really updated them in the last like 5 days or 6 days. I did not technically update them at the end of the Farmers, except guys who are already later in the draft. Yeah, I think Rose is the right pick there. So I would have, if I updated my rankings, I'd probably have Rose ahead. For me, there's a good if you need Goddard, I'm gonna check my Goddard exposure. There's a good argument to take Goddard early. I do need some Goddard, so I can go Colin and Goddard. We were drafting Colin Morikawa in the first round of this tournament in recent history. I think last year he might have been a 1-2 turn, but 2 years ago, Colin is no doubt a first round pick, top 5 pick. So to get him in the third, 3-4 turn, I'm still holding out hope that he can figure his things out. He's just a guy who plays better in these big tournaments than he does consistently throughout the year. And he doesn't play a whole lot of rounds compared to some of these other golfers. He's really picking and choosing what he plays. So I think he can show up when it counts, in the majors. Goddard, that's kind of like the McIntyre. You got to shoot for the stars. Siwoo Kim, very nice pick. Very nice pick, Siwoo Kim. I like Siwoo Kim. I think he's going to be rising up my ranks as well. And it's like Siwoo Kim or Cantlay. Why not Siwoo Kim? Both veterans of the game, veteran professionals out here. Both of them due for potentially a major victory. But it's going to be really hard for one of them to get it done with Scotty Scheffler in the field. So part of what you're also picking these guys for is that they can finish top 10 in one or more majors. Because odds are we're going to have another year like last year where Scotty's going to win 1 or 2 majors. You're going to have Rory competing. You got guys like Rahm out there, DeChambeau. I think Schauffele, 1 year removed from his injury, his rib injury stuff. He's going to be very competitive. So there are a lot of dogs out there who are going to be winning these majors. You're going to need guys who can finish in the top 10 in your lineup to get you a bunch of points in this format. So I think that's also something to note. You don't necessarily have to have guys that can win the majors, but you do need guys who are going to make the cut, score fantasy points, maybe go low one day, drop some birdies, maybe some eagles, and guys who are heating up as well. I'm going to take Patrick Reed, probably my favorite click at this point on the board. I like to go Jordan, Spieth. I might want to mix in some J-Day at some point. I have a bunch of Harmon. I like Sepp Straka and Harry Hall. But I think I'm just going to go Jordan, Spieth after I take Reed and stick with kind of what works for me and how I've been building out a bunch of these teams. Yeah, I've got a bunch of Spieth, and then my Reed numbers are also at a nice level. And at this point in the year, we have so much time before the Masters in April. You can always fix your exposures, so it's not that bad to be kind of picking your favorite guys here, because one thing I've learned over the years in these drafts is like the ADPs will change radically from open to close, and there's combinations you will not be able to get at close. But for whatever reason, if Morikawa wins one of these tournaments, starts going back in the second round, if a guy like Straka wins a tournament or two, he'll probably rise a little bit, but he doesn't have that like history of being a major winner to really push him up. If we get really good news from Justin Thomas, he could be flying up the board. I've been pretty hesitant to select Justin Thomas so far. But so any of the big name guys who have fallen out of favor a little bit, when we've seen Rose is moving up like a whole round just from winning the Farmers, and that's what can happen. So Spieth wins one of these tournaments before the Masters, which I don't think there's a great chance that that happens, but it could. He could at least have some nice finishes. Then he'll shoot up the board. Yeah, these early Albatross has been really fun. I love the Albatross. It's one of my favorite best ball tournaments. Um, I'm was it 2024? I got 5th and 30th and 70th in the Albatross. I had 3 teams in the finals. I was in first for probably 10 minutes, and then I was in second going into Sunday. So it felt pretty good. I had a chance to block out my opponent. We had similar rosters, but it was teams that were below me and my opponent who was in first that came up and actually beat us both. So it's a lot changes going into Sunday. Batia, a nice pick there. Harmon, a great pick. Ryan Gerard, a really good pick. So like here, yeah, I'm going Cam Smith. I'm taking a bunch of Cam Smith. Who else do I like? I don't mind Adam Scott. With Adam Scott, you have to remember he's won the Masters. He can do well there. He got cut last year, 19th at the PGA, 12th at the US Open. He's not currently qualified for the US Open, cut at the Open. So he had a pretty bad run at the majors last season, but he's got a lot of course history at these places, and he's just a stud. Adam Scott's a guy that, I mean, Adam Scott, if you told me he finished second this year in Augusta, I would not be surprised. Kind of like if you told me how Rose finished second last year, it's not that surprising. But Scott going pick 43 compared to guys like Minwoo Lee, Aaron Rai, Rasmus Højgaard, I think to me it's pretty easy to go Scott. Sung J M, I'm chilling on him because of the whole wrist injury, so we don't know what's up with that. Yeah, what's up, this bandit? How we doing, brother? Good to see you. Have you taken have you taken it towards a home on the late night? Cracking me up. Oh man. I have to go catch up on the Typhul Tower, aka the Toxic Tower stream. My bad. Slipped. I have to go catch up on the Toxic Tower stream. Was doing some bedtime duties with the kiddos. I got a lot of streams to catch up on. Gotta finish Cody's stream. Gotta catch up on Huhaim's stream. Everyone out there. Fanspeak had a stream earlier going on. All you guys. Too much good stuff. Too much good content these days. Hardly caught any of PPR's. Who else went live? Everyone was going live. A lot of good stuff. A lot of good people. Drafting the big board. Badge Bros were live earlier today. Was lurking, caught a little bit of that. Tons going on, drafting these dog bowls for NBA. Okay, so Minwoo Lee, nice. Pinge, very good. Novak, good. Knapp, a solid pick. Okay, solid enough. I mean, this format, Knapp's not great, but he could always win in. Kiefer's a very nice pick. Højgaard's okay. I think Rye's a good pick there. Rye was falling a bit. ADP would say all of these guys who I don't like, except for Bridgman, I do like. My Bridgman exposure is not as crazy as my McCarty. So I'll go Bridgman first. And then what am with Lee? With Lee, I'm pretty high. I have a ton of exposure to McCarty, Sam Stevens, Lee. So I might go Cootie first because he's the guy I have the least. Yeah, I'm gonna go Cootie. It's like until I even out my exposures a little bit more, because I was hammering McCarty and Stevens and Lee on all of my early drafts, and they continue to impress and like be in a good spot and be good picks late, but they haven't like risen up a ton yet. They haven't risen up so much. You can still get them in the last 3 rounds. But Cootie's the guy that I wasn't clicking before that now I'm clicking. I want to have a lot of. So I'm starting to take him earlier and earlier just to make sure I get him. And I want to have, I think Pearson Cootie's in that same bucket as like McCarty, as Sam Stevens, maybe even a little bit better. I've got a bunch of Minwoo Lee. He was going late for a while. Yeah. Jeff sits him out because he doesn't want to go up against the sharps. It's tough. It's a 1 out of 6 advance. So I'm sorry, Nez. I'm sorry, Hartman, but better luck next time. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. A 1 of 6 advance, and also I'm not going to advance in this room either because I don't have Scotty Scheffler. At the end of the day, it's going to be very hard. I mean, Reed does nice at Augusta. Spieth does nice at Augusta. Cam Smith can do well at Augusta. Scott can do well. So I'm picking guys who can do well at the Masters. If Scheffler doesn't win his third jacket, I've got a bunch of other guys who can give him a run for the money. Even Xander. I think Xander. What is Xander's course history at Augusta? I don't think it's the most impressive. Oh no, I'm completely wrong. Who was I thinking of? It's very impressive. 8, 10, cut 3. It's hard to get better than that unless you're Scotty. I'll come back to this. Who was I thinking of that is not necessarily so impressive at Augusta? Because I was way off. So do I want to go Wrighton this time? I said I would do it. I could do Wrighton. I could also do Grazerman. I got a lot of Grazerman. I am going to take some Wrighton. And then McCarty or Grazerman. I guess I'm just feeling McCarty right now. Yeah, I don't know. I'm either way. Either way, those guys got to play in to a lot of these majors, but they currently are qualified for a bunch of them. McKibben's another guy that's not bad. He's in. He'll be at Augusta. He'll be at the Open, and then in between, he can qualify potentially, but on live. So he's got to play a bunch of DP World Tour events to get in. Who was I thinking of here? Let's see. Nez goes Zalatoris and Bezadenhout. Got to help you out, Nez. Bezadenhout is only qualified for the PGA, but he's a good golfer. He's a good pro. Can he get into more? Hopefully. And then Zalatoris, he's been going pretty high in these drafts. We were talking about him earlier. He's not qualified for anything. Nez, we talked about that last week, brother. The Willie Z, Higo, interesting. Yeah, Brennan Berger. I think the Berger fell out of the top 50, and didn't he lose one of his qualifications? Yeah, Berger. He's a good golfer. He's 56th in the world. He's got to win. He got to do well to get into the rest of these other events. But he's on pace for some. Who was it? Scrolling back up. I completely misspoke. Xander Schauffele is great at Augusta. He could win it any given year. Henley's fine there. Henley had a top 5. Who am I thinking of? Is it McIntyre? I guess it's just McIntyre. He had finished 12th there 5 years ago, but not a lot since. Didn't make it to Augusta. 2 out of the last 3 years. He got cut last year. Maybe that's who I was thinking of, but I don't know. For some reason in my head, Xander Schauffele is good at every single major. He could win any of them. That's why I'm taking him 3rd overall, and then I go Jon Rahm 4th overall, and then I have a tough decision between Bryson DeChambeau and Fleetwood. And sometimes I go DeChambeau, but Fleetwood's also a killer. He just hasn't been closing and has a harder time winning on the PGA Tour compared to a guy like Bryson, who has been able to get it done. So there we are. The Albatross. I took Matt McCarty again, but I took Wrighton this time. Pretty standard team for me. A lot of my high exposure players, Reed, Cam Smith, Morikawa. Schauffele at 6 feels great. Let's pop back over to the Underdog Open. Let's get a few more of these in before tomorrow. Ooh, snap filled, and it goes. Looks like some guys were waiting on this one. I got, names that we see all the time. Car Park, Hot, Sizos, Sam Olson. Some of the BR regulars. Yeah, friends and family draft. I should do a team review. I should jump in there. I did a glance over. I did a results. No. Live drafts completed. Albies. All right, let's do a quick one for Hartman. I kind of did throughout the draft, but Hartman, very nice team. Got Rory, Cam Young, Hovland. Love the start. Siwoo keeps getting better. Justin Thomas, fingers crossed. If he's active, he's playing, he's doing well. It's a good pick. If he misses some time, if he comes back rusty, it's not the worst thing. This in the middle here, but I'm not getting so much Justin Thomas yet. I'll probably wait for some more better news. I think we're getting close, though. He looks like he is going to be okay. J-Day's nice. Ryan Gerard, love it. Novak, great. Pinge. Haotong Lee. Berger, why not? Take a shot on a guy. And then Brennan. So Hartman's got a very strong team there. I like the way that turned out for him. Hartman's a channel member. He gets access to the Google Sheet. I can see he's using it. Very nice. Nez, also a channel member. Get like Nez, get like Hartman. Come draft with me. Be channel members. Get access to the Google Sheet. DeChambeau, Hideki, Rose, Killers, Hatton, fun pick. I've had a bunch of Hatton exposure over the years. Corey Connors, a great pick. Love Corey Connors in this format. Clark is a previous major winner, can do it again. Batia, making sure I'm not on the clock. I'm not on the clock yet, but I'm about to be. Batia's great. I like Sahith. He's having a year. Aaron Rye had a good value there. Homa is okay. Zalatoris, bad pick. Zayden Hout. It's a scroll down. Can't get mad at it. Back to the Underdog Open. Okay, I took Hideki last time. So maybe this time we go Siwoo. Tell me you guys have all seen the clip of Jordan Spieth. I think it was the President's Cup 5 years ago, whatever it was. Pretty sure it was pre-pandemic, but he does the whole Siwoo shaking that ass meme from Jordan Spieth. I think it was the President's Cup. I guess it would have been like 6 years ago. You gotta just Google Jordan Spieth, Siwoo Kim shaking that ass. Classic media moment. Okay, I would go McNeeler, Hovland, or Goddard even. Let's go Goddard. Goddard's a guy. Let's get him. I want some Goddard exposure. I don't think he'd come back. I do want to get Hovland in the next draft. Or Fitzpatrick, or both. Yeah, what's up, Bayou? How we doing? Bayou Bengal. Good to see you, brother. Appreciate you being here. Know nothing about golf? Perfect. Perfect place to be. Come on in. We'll teach you some things. I appreciate you being here, though, my friend. This Bandit's on one tonight. Love to see it. Who Hames? You're on with Steve today? Hell yeah. Yeah. Sharpman, aka my dog, aka Hartman, the man. He's in on the Haotong Lee. He's wise. He knows that Haotong Lee finished 4th at the Open last year and is on the PGA Tour full time this year. trying to grind out some wins. Great putter. Okay, we're gonna get English here. Been inspired. Oh, Fowler's not bad either. What do I do? I'm gonna stick with my guns. Let's go English. Siwoo Kim got her up English. Maybe Fowler comes back around. I seriously doubt it. Homa was an auto pick. You know, Homa can he'd have to do something big, but he should maybe get some sponsor exemptions into some of these early signature events. Maybe he does get into one of the majors. Only live once. Yeah, YOLO. Brooks. Uh, drafting Brooks Koepka, did it work for you last week at the Farmers? No, but could it work for us this week? Might just be crazy enough to find out. Spawn feels like an auto fade for me if I drafted these now. Yeah, coolers. I think so too. There's like 10 guys I'm taking over him, so he just doesn't come back around to me as often. I have some exposure from the early drafts, but I think that's what we've realized here. Hey, this guy. Appreciate the shout, Hartman. That's what over I've always been using sheets for golf, especially the slow drafts. I've always done it for the scramble, and I even used to do it in some form or fashion every year I've drafted the Albatross the last 3 years. But my sheet has gotten more and more detailed and expanded. It used to have 3 years history uh, back in 2024 drafts, and now I keep adding years to it. So it's the same sheet that just year over year gets more history to it, and I changed some functionality. But man, yeah, I think in golf for the scramble, you really need to have some kind of tool or help or sheet. And then for the Albatross, it's just nice. You can memorize a lot of this stuff, but there's a good amount of names to know, and the qualifications for the majors, it's in flux, right? So who do we want here? I think my last two picks, I should take Sep. Sep was really a really strong golfer. Hasn't had a great start yet, but Sep, Keith Mitchell, Akshay Bhatia. Who's going to do well here? Let's go back to our tournament predictor. Sorting on making cut. Harry Hall, Nearguard Peterson, Olison, Knapp. Knapp is gone. Olison we took last time. Didn't I take him last time? I'll do Bhatia this time. I'll just take Bhatia again. Siwoo Kim, got her up English, Koepka, Straka, Bhatia. That doesn't feel like the winner. We got to do another one. That does not feel like the winner. Yeah, without using some kind of something help to do the scramble, it's very tough to get it right, to get out of your second pod. Maybe you get lucky and get out of your first pod. It'd be very hard to get out of your second pod. Yeah, this is true. This is true. Jumping into another Underdog Open for the Waste Management Phoenix Open. We forgot to read the Twitter thread from Greg Ducharme on the stream this week, but I can give you some of the highlights. Draft good golfers. The field is very strong. And expect a tie. Expect there to be 2 or 3 guys very close on the leaderboard. Not like last week where we had Rosie just outright the winner from day 1 to day 4. There's gonna be a lot of volatility, I think, this weekend. We might see some guys go pretty low. Let's look at the Phoenix Open last year. Dietrich wins at 24 under. I mean, this is the exception. Last year, he was one far and away. What did he have? Like 12 strokes on the field, like on the field average. Like he was just way above everyone. Very rare that happens. Berger and Kim tied for second. So Bezadenhout's got some history here. He's in the field. McIntyre, Spieth does well. McNeely, Rasmus, Minwoo Lee. Okay. Sepp Straka. Glad we looked over here at this. 2024, Nick Taylor won it in a playoff with Charlie Hoffman, which was fun. Scotty Scheffler got third, if you can believe that. Scheffler didn't win. I'm on the clock. I get Scheffler. It's a good day to auto draft your first pick. So this is the one that's going to win. I have to lock in on this one because this can win. If you've got Scheffler, if you've got Schauffele, you can win this tournament. Very hard to do without one of these two guys. Even if they don't win it, one of them is going to finish in the top 5. And then you just have to get everything else right because, they get drafted every single draft. So that's kind of my thinking in a week like this. Somewhat similar to 2 weeks ago at the American Express. Yeah, Sepp, when Sepp was good at golf, it's been a rocky start for Sepp. Pop over there. In his last couple rounds, he's been losing. There's American Express, he gets cut. What else was I thinking of? I guess he hasn't played a whole lot yet. It was just that. I guess I imagined he played last week and also got cut, but it was just the week before. Sahith's on a roll. Let's go with him. I think Jordan Spieth is dialed. Let's get some Jordan Spieth. Scotty Scheffler, Sahith Theegala, Jordan Spieth. I was going to take either Hovland or Fitzpatrick for sure. I still want to get Ben Griffin, Hovland, and Fitzpatrick lineups in for this. I'm a big Brian Harman fan. He is he's a good golfer. He's won the Open. He's very accurate. He plays golf as a lefty. That's just kind of fun. So he stands out. And I think he does well at the majors. He can do well in any given event. He's won on the tour a bunch. Let's pull him up. I forget how many victories he has. 3-time plus the major at the Open in 2023. So a recent major winner. Been a Ryder Cupper, a President Cupper. Second place at the US Open a decade ago. He's won the Valero last season, the John Deere a decade ago, plus the Wells Fargo about a decade ago. So, I mean, he's gotten second and third at the Players I think Harmon could just always compete. Brian Harmon can just show up. Rasmus was kind of hitting in some interesting ways on the model, the tournament predictor. That was Nick. That was Nikolai Højgaard. That's okay. I'll still go Rasmus. I'm thinking I might go Thorbjornsen. It's frozen. Oh, I was able. Wow, that was the longest freeze ever. I was able to throw Thorbjornsen in there because I actually did want Thorbjornsen more. Where did I see Rasmus pop? Oh, Nearguard Peterson. Let's throw him in there. He's been getting drafted almost every time. Some Nearguard Peterson. Why not? Some Thorbjornsen. Got some of the older veteran guys that aren't even that old, but some of the new faces, younger players. Yeah, Hartman, I've always been a big Brian Harmon fan. I'll draft him in any format, really. I'll draft him in something like this. I mean, I've already drafted him for this weekend in one of my early par threes I did for this. Yeah, he's accurate. He's a good putter. He's an all-around good golfer. He's almost 40, but we just saw Justin Rose win at 45. This Underdog Open, this particular one is $10. They have other price points. They have a $5 one that's already closed. They have a $3 one that just closed that we did at the beginning of the stream that literally closed since then. Oh, I chose make cut. Let's choose win. Let's go back to winning. Echeverria. Oh, that's a name. That's a name. Let's throw that one in there. Echeverria. Nico. I like him. Novak's not bad either. I don't know that he's been playing incredibly. So Rasmus was fine. Rasmus was up there. Rasmus is totally fine. Let's get Echeverria though. Well, shit. Nick Taylor's there. Nick Taylor's won this thing before. Let's go, Nick Taylor. Nick Taylor won here literally 2 years ago. Boom. Yeah, Kitayama's got some good history. Is Adam Scott in the field? No. Yeah, he's not in the field right now. I was going to say. Echeverria is fine. I don't know where Nick Taylor is on here. It doesn't. I can't search it. I can't control F it for some reason. I'm not sure why that is. But if I just scroll through, Min Woo Lee is probably a good pick. Just a lot of risk that he doesn't make the cut. Nick Taylor should make the cut. Not great chances to win. Hasn't been playing the best golf lately. What did he have though? He had he was doing okay at Sony T13 and tied for 27th at American Express. That's okay. Those are fine. It's not that bad. But he's 55th in the world. He needs to improve on that. He should be in all the majors. Nick Taylor's not a guy I take a bunch of in the Albatross. This is his major history. His best finish is like a tied for 23rd at the US Open last year. Other than that, he's had a pretty miserable go at a bunch of US Opens and PGAs over the last 3 decades. Hadn't played at the Masters very often. So Nick Taylor just never really got like just didn't have it in the majors. But I like him for the scramble, I like him in weekly tournaments like this. Scheffler, Thigala, Spieth, Thorbjornsen, Rasmus, Niergaard, Peterson, and Nick Taylor. Let's do one more. Let's do one more Underdog Open. I want to get either Hovland and or Fitzpatrick, maybe Ben Griffin, depending on where I'm at. If I don't get Scotty, how viable is a no hat team? I have no idea what that means. Oh, and look, I get the 101 Scotty Scheffler streamer luck. That's great. Love it. A no hat team. I'm not sure. I'm not sure who Hames. I don't know what that is. Oh, because the guys with the pictures didn't have hats. That's hilarious. I didn't even pick up on that. We'll have to see who does and who does not have hats. They are not required to wear hats. Um, they're not required to wear hats. I'm trying to think of guys who don't wear hats. Think back to all of the golfers before the year 1980. Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus. None of those guys wore hats. Hats are a more recent, thing in golf fashion and trends, but you can not wear a hat. Wasn't it Patrick Cantlay at the Ryder Cup 2 Ryder Cups ago who took his hat who was playing hatless to kinda, like, change up his mojo? And then there's guys who wear visors. Keith Mitchell comes to mind as one of the visor guys, but that's technically a hat, but you can go hatless. I'm almost certain. It's not very common because people just wear the hat because it's sunny outside, but I'm almost certain there's no requirement for a hat. There are only 2 I had seen in the pictures with a hat. That's your golf analysis. I love that. Yeah, I'm trying who else does not wear a hat? In the pictures, it's always different. I guess I don't know why the pictures that's so funny because Ben Griffin 100% of the time wears a hat and sunglasses when he plays. Ben Griffin's funny. There are some guys who always wear sunglasses. Hideki almost always wearing his sunglasses. Ben Griffin almost always wearing his sunglasses. Hao Tong Lee wears sunglasses. Ricky Fowler likes to sunglass. Ooh, Cootie and Fitzpatrick. That seems good. I feel like we're getting ahead of ourselves with Cootie a little bit. I don't know what his course history is at WM, the Waste Management. I don't even know if he's played it before. It'd be 2015 or 2014. He would have played it. I don't think he's played it. I'll get some, and then we'll figure out later if that was a good pick after the fact. Where's the P's? Pearson, Cootie. Yeah, not a good pick. Almost no chance he wins this. Very little chance he gets top 10 or top 25. Should make the cut though. He's the way he's been playing well. So probably an overvalued pick. Let's go back to winning percentage, or let's look at value. Value is more of a DFS type of metric when you can select your lineups, trying to get different. So Nico pops here. I should have taken Colin. Probably should have just taken Colin. Andrew Novak seems nice. This is interesting. Collie, Higo, Berger. We're getting some ideas. Probably should not have taken Cootie though. It's buying at the top, very expensive. Every single pick that went after him, probably a better pick. Every pick that's going to go in the 4th round, probably a better pick. Unfortunate. It's all right. I'm trying to get some exposure to these guys. I don't know, but it does feel like I just kind of messed up a Scheffler team. Cootie's just not really playing it safe. He's a good golfer, but I could have played it safer around a Scheffler team. I don't have to risk it as much and take these long shot guys. At least not that early in the draft. Thigala, we know he's a decent pick, and then who else did I want to go with? I think Min Woo Lee's kind of fun here. There's the squad. Yes, yes, Cooler's right. It's you gotta wear all your sponsors on the hat. Speaking of hat, this stream is brought to you by TaylorMade Golf. If I continue to rep the TaylorMade by the time that the Albatross closes, maybe they'll send me a new set of a new driver, a new putter, maybe a new set of some blades, some irons. I'll take a wedge, TaylorMade. I'm not pick. I'll take free balls. Someone send me some of those new balls you guys are putting out. I'm in. Rory isn't wearing a hat. Yeah, that's because Rory is a nobleman of the United Kingdom. He's actually Northern Irish. So does that still count? But he's royalty, so he doesn't have to wear the hat. Yeah, you got to work on that OWGR, Jeff. Due to the sponsor deals, that's so true. You guys are on top of it. Novak was popping, and then who else did I like in the tournament predictor? I liked Nico. If Novak's not there, I got Novak though. Let's go with Novak. Boom. These ones are so fast, so easy. Betting on horses, that makes sense. More guys with no hats. I can't. So it doesn't show if they're wearing. Oh no, it does. I guess I could have scrolled through all of these individually. There's too. It's too hard to click through them. I wish it would show them. We could look at the board though. Ben Griffin doesn't have a hat in this, but he does play with the hat and glasses. Jake Knapp doesn't have a hat on. He's always wearing a hat in real life. Berger has no hat. He does wear a hat when he plays. So these are deceiving. Nikolai Højgaard always has his Callaway hat on. He'll be repping. Interesting. Look at the difference too. Like, I think this is the picture they've been using for Thigala for like a few years, and it's like a huge blown up face shot. Same thing with Batia. Then you have guys who didn't have a headshot, and they just added them to it, like McCarty or Thor Bjornsson. For some reason, they're smaller. The guys who have been in the player pool for longer have bigger headshots, it seems. I don't know if I'm just reading into that too much. Well, Fowler's is small, but it was always weird. I thought I remembered Fowler not even having a picture previously. And that might be true because they might have gotten these pictures for the Albatross. Because look, Scotty Scheffler, that's like from 4 years ago. That's like when Scotty Scheffler won his first Masters. He had no facial hair. So some of these, and that Siwoo Kim picture is also a little bit older. The Cam Young is way old. Some of these are super old. Harry Hall wears the little like what do you call that hat? Like paperboy hat, like the very interesting style. Yeah, we got Joel. Joel Damon plays with the bucket hat. So does who else does that? It'll come to me. Oh, Joe Highsmith. Yeah, there it is. Boom, Joe Highsmith. They should base headshot size on OWGR. They really should. They really should. Then you would know. You'd be like, oh, don't be drafting. I'm trying to think who's the worst in OWGR right now in this list. It's probably out of these guys. I hope it's not Fowler. It's probably Thigala or Mitchell. Olesen is surprisingly higher than you would expect. Bjorn and Olesen still top 100. Mitchell's not. Is Mitchell top 100 right now? No, Mitchell's 122. He wears the visor. You can't see him because I'm blocking. Boom. Who is Ricky Fowler is he's way higher though. Can't spell. Ricky Fowler is 80. He's fallen. He's been higher. He plays on the DP World Tour quite a bit. He's not fully on the PGA Tour, and so that's probably why. Where's Poston? Poston's higher than those guys, but he's been falling. He's still 59. He's falling because he's only played once this 2026 season. He got T38 at the Amex. He's just not playing a lot. He's in the field though. He's not terrible. You know, he's won a few times on the tour. A couple times. You know, not so bad. Postman, good putter. Yeah, Huhaim's coming in here, just bringing a whole new perspective to drafting fantasy golf, and this is exactly the vibes we need. This is the chemistry we need to get into a new space, to draft some different teams based on hats and not hats, and get into conversation. I love it. Keith Mitchell would look like that dude at the end of Beetlejuice. The end of Beetlejuice. That's a deep cut. I mean, I've seen it. The end of Beetlejuice? The end of Beetlejuice? I'm lost. Yeah, there's always hat analysis. Exactly. Here we go. You guys like this bad boy? Look at this thing. Throwback 2025 PGA Quail Hollow. I actually just picked this up because I saw it. It was a quarter price, or was it half price? It was half price. The PGA shop. The only problem is it's not as comfortable as all of the other hats. For some reason, it's not as comfortable. I need to adjust it. Put something right here to make it more comfortable. It's sick though. It has like a paint splash effect to it. And then I got my daughter a hat that was quarter price. It was 1/4 the original price on sale on the PGA Tour shop, and it's a children's all pink PGA Valhalla hat from 2 years ago when Scotty got arrested. So great memories. An awfully deep cut. Yeah. In the waiting room next to the guy with the shrunken head. I thought that's what you were thinking of as well, because that's like the obvious one. Producer, pull that one up. Producer, pull up the shrunken head guy. I would pull that up, but that is nuts. I mean, you guys can imagine. You've all seen it. You've all seen it. Actually, a fun movie. I always kind of like that movie. Very creepy. Very creepy movie. All right, let's see. I think we've done it. We drafted the Albatross. We did some of my slow drafts. We ripped a few of the Underdog Open. I'm going to talk one and dones. So for my one and dones this week, I've got 3 one and done leagues. 2 of them are the Rick Run Good one and done league. I've got 1 entry in the Pat Mayo. I'm picking, and let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you've made any of your picks. I picked, who did I pick? I might have to pull it up on the other screen over here I know one of them was. So let's start with the first 2, the Rick Run Good ones. It's making me log in. Okay, I picked Daniel Berger and Siwoo Kim for my Splash Sports season-long one and done World Championship, the Rick Run Good entry. So Daniel Berger and Siwoo Kim. What are their odds to win? Berger's got decent odds, 1.5%, and a good chance to make the cut, which matters a lot, and pretty decent odds to top 10. So I'm cool with this. I'm not going to use Berger the rest of the year. You might not even have to use him at all. So, you know, is that scrolling down too far? And then Siwoo Kim, I think for some reason, I can't see his name. Where is it? He's got to be up here. Why is he so far down? This is impossible. I must have missed it. I can't see it. It's somewhere in here. Let's do top 10. It's got to show up. There he is. Siwoo Kim, 188% to win. So I was just looking right past it. He's right here. Under Echeverria. It just blended in. Should look for the Korean flag. He, I feel like, is on a heater lately. I don't know where else I'm going to use him. I'm not going to be using him in a major. I could use him for a signature event, but I don't even feel like I have to. So I feel okay using Siwoo Kim here. I've already used Siwoo Kim in one of my other one and dones. I used him at the American Express. So I feel like getting it over with. So Daniel Berger, Siwoo Kim, and then for my Pat Mayo one and done, I'm going with, who did I pick? This is the one I have I have less conviction on. I have to sign in. How am I signed out on my computer on all of these different things? I guess I was looking at it on my phone. I picked Hideki. He's got pretty good odds to win here. Should I save him for something else? I don't know. I feel like Hideki gets an early season win often, and I really don't know. So I think I'm going to roll with Hideki. Jeff says he likes the Siwoo Kim. Wouldn't take Daniel Berger, however. Yeah, I might need to get off Berger. Just looking at these drafts, though, I don't want to burn too many of my good golfers, but should I use Ben Griffin? Is it a good place to use McNeely or Ben Griffin? Maybe I go off of Berger and I go for McNeely. I'm going to do that. I'm switching from Berger to McNeely. I think it's saved. Did I edit my pick? My entries. Oh, shoot. I didn't save it. I have to unselect. So unselect Berger. I'm going to select McNeely. Sweet. Okay. And then let's go to the predictor. Yeah, McNeely's got a really good chance to win. So twice as strong as Berger. And when else am I going to use McNeely in a one and done this season? Probably not anywhere in particular, right? So I've got one Siwoo Kim, one Maverick McNeely, and one Decky. I don't want to scroll down too far because there's only 30 events. You don't have to use every golfer. I want to use top guys. I want to save the best guys for the highest purse events. But yeah, I like that though. That's a good looking out, Jeff. I think I should shift off of Daniel Berger and go with McNeely. Unless you guys are hating McNeely this week for any given reason. I'm not sure why. Coolers likes Decky. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Hideki's a good pick, of course, of course. Right. So, and I think McNeely's good and he's playing well, and he's a West Coast guy, whatever that means, not that it matters. Top 10 at the Farmers, top 25 at the Sony, had an okay fall. On his last 25 rounds, benchmark top 10 golfer. He's right on that line. So, can he get hot putting? Is he accurate enough driving? Is his approach play, where it should be to win this kind of thing? I think so. We see him going in the second round of the underdog draft, so it feels pretty comfortable. That's what I'm going to roll with. And that's what we got for tonight's show. Thanks so much for being here, for drafting with me. Tune in on tomorrow night? Tomorrow night, I'm going to be drafting some big boards. And then later this weekend, I'm drafting some big boards as well. Everyone have a great night. Have a good waste management Phoenix Open, and I'll see you guys in the next stream talking Super Bowl and drafting big boards. Peace out.